A submarine is like a giant metal tube that can float on water, dive deep underwater, and then come back up again. But how does it do that? Let's find out how submarines control when they sink or float. The secret: ballast tanks and buoyancy. Submarines use ballast tanks, which are large empty spaces inside the submarine. By filling these tanks with water or air, the submarine can control its buoyancy, the force that decides if it sinks or floats. Step by step, how submarines dive and resurface. 1. Floating at the surface like a boat. When the submarine is floating, the ballast tanks are filled with air. This makes the submarine less dense than the water, so it floats on the surface. 2. Diving underwater. To dive, the submarine lets water into the ballast tanks. The water adds weight. The submarine becomes heavier and more dense than the water. It starts to sink below the surface. The crew can control how deep the submarine goes by adjusting how much water is in the tanks. 3. Surfacing again. When it's time to rise back to the surface, the submarine pumps air back into the ballast tanks, pushing the water out. This makes the submarine lighter. Its density becomes less than the water. The submarine floats back to the surface. 4. Staying at one depth. If the submarine wants to stay at a certain depth without going up or down, it carefully adjusts the amount of air and water to stay balanced. This is called neutral buoyancy. Extra controls, fins, and propeller. Submarines also use small wings called fins and propellers to steer and move while underwater, just like an airplane in the sky. In short, submarines dive by filling tanks with water to get heavier, and they rise by filling tanks with air to get lighter. They use buoyancy control to explore deep underwater while staying safe.